You got the sense today, didn't you? The sense today that they genuinely loved it. It wasn't just another parade. It wasn't just like, oh, here we go, yay.
Every single one of them.
Just absolutely
And even with all the rain, they just looked like they were loving it.
Well, for sailors, of course, they're wet anyway.
Of course.
I mean, it's no difference. I mean, unless you're inside having the champagne and the oysters.
I was outside. Jill and Sue, who were next to me from out west, they know I was out there with them and in the pouring rain.
Jill and Sue.
Yep, I said I'd give them a shout out, and there you go.
Jill and Sue.
So, despite a torrential downpour, Kiwis turned out in full force today to cheer Team New Zealand home. It was incredible. You got the sense that it will really be one of those occasions that generations will remember for years to come.
Which is why some parents, of course, let their kids cut school to be there, because this kind of celebration simply doesn't happen every day. So Tim Wilson found a parade position with a couple of kids who made Wagging look patriotic.
Some days the right thing to do is go rogue. Swimmer and Team New Zealand fan Michael watched all the races poolside.
I definitely felt a bit of adrenaline as we were nearing the end of the cup, and to see them win it, it was motivation that I just needed at that time to go faster when I was swimming.
Besides going to Sir Peter Blake's old school, Takapuna Grammar, there's another link.
I grew up on Beresford Street, which is where Sir Peter Blake grew up as well.
Some history, Michael and his mate Dan, one choice, to wag school, stride through a celebrating town, and take a boat to a victory party 14 years in the making.
Peter Burling, yeah.
They're not the only ones who are excited. The boat arrives, but crowds are already building and the waiting begins. Now there's this move that kids do to signal good times. It's called a shaka. Michael and Dan teach it to an older person.
When we last won the America's Cup, I was too young to remember, so being here, the atmosphere, just really looking forward to it.
Yeah, this is really awesome. Like, it's been so long since we've actually won.
The action gets closer. Expectation rises.
So the bagpipes going.
And rises.
Oh, this is incredible.
Suddenly,
There's the cup over there.
at which point nature, well, rains on the parade.
This is crazy. The weather, it would rain when they come through, yeah.
And then a moment that brings them close to all their history and perhaps the future.
The weather sucks, but you can't put a damper on this today. It was awesome. It's great. Proud to be a New Zealander right now.
On a day that inspired the next generation of Kiwi.
Yes, I love that the shaka was out. And can I say, all the people that were around me, you know when it's raining, often you see people when they look miserable.
Were these the waiters and waitresses, do you mean?
Excuse me, Mr. Caviar. If there was ever a day to have oysters and champagne, was today not that day?
That is true.
Thank you. But everyone looked very happy despite the rain. Like, no one looked miserable. No one cared.
Why would you look miserable at a parade to celebrate the...
Well, sometimes when people get wet and cold, it can be uncomfortable.
That is true. Somebody in the office, I won't name them, Anna. Anyway, they said today we are an over-paraded country. I mean, that's the sort of misery and negativity we had to put up with all afternoon. We're over-paraded in this country.
I don't think the thousands that turned out agree with that.
So you got the America's Cup, the Rugby World Cup, you got your Christmas parade. That's about it, for goodness sake, isn't it?
Yeah.
And everyone has
the Olympians had it in
because we're winners. So every time we win something big internationally, we celebrate it, you know.
Let's have a sense of occasion.
Let's have a sense of occasion. Couldn't agree more. Jeez. Talk about baggage in the office. Sir Peter Blake is, of course, an enormous part of our America's Cup memories. He was so much a part of those magic days of '95.
Of course. Sir Peter was killed in 2001 on board his boat, the Seamaster, while on an environmental exploration trip in the Amazon.
So, in a stroke of serendipity, that same boat is back in Auckland. It's almost like I've had the champagne, isn't it? That same boat's back in Auckland and was in prime position to join today's celebrations. Carolyn Robinson was invited on board.
His books are still on the shelves, this bunk room still referred to as Sir Peter's. And though he's no longer here, he's very much part of this parade.
Is it quite an emotional day?
Very emotional, very emotional. It's a dream come true.
The America's Cup legend died on this boat.
We've just seen his photo on the wall downstairs. Does it feel to you like he's with us?
Yes, I think he would be here today on his boat if he was alive.
Bruno Troublé is another America's Cup legend. He created the Louis Vuitton Challenger series 34 years ago. His family now owns Sir Peter's old boat. And Bruno has some ideas on how to make his old friend proud of the next America's Cup.
Let me ask you about the Bermuda campaign. I mean, you've been vocal about not approving of how it went. What were the big problems?
The Russell Coutts & Co, they were great sailors. They are great sailors. He's the best sailor in the America's Cup history, maybe. but he's not a very good organizer. And he has been trying over the last years to change the America's Cup to a Formula One circus.
So you think the point being carried through is wrong, the nationality?
Yes, think about a rugby game where you start with a try, one team starts with one try, or they play for 10 minutes with one arm in the back, you know? How is that possible?
What do you think Team New Zealand should do about changing the rules? What would you do?
I think what was really wrong with Russell Coutts, he tried at all costs to keep the cup. I think this country should first organize a nice event, a very international, with a lot of countries, fair, simple, and then think about the way they could keep the cup here.
Troublé didn't go to Bermuda. He described the event as vulgar and smelling of sunscreen and French fries.
I criticized a lot the event in Bermuda, so I was invited there, but I decided not to go. I think I would have been wrong to go there after what I said.
So what will the next one smell like?
Joy, enthusiasm, passion, and maybe millions of tourists from all over the world.
Do you think we can keep the cup?
Yes, sure, you can. We have the best sailors in the world. If the nationality rule is tightened, then the queue will be very difficult to beat, because when you see Spithill steering the boat in the last few days, he looked like 80 years old, you know, compared to Berling.
The young helmsman
You to be at this parade.
I came especially from Europe for that, because I've been involved with the America's Cup for many, many years. And I must say that the last 15 years have been a bit sad for Team New Zealand, for the country.
The smells, sights and sounds on the water today, a celebration that brings together everything Sir Peter loved about sailing.
And he would be very happy, because this young team put an end to 15 years of sadness and humiliation. So he would be thrilled. He would be not only on the boat, but maybe at top of the mast.
Point out that next week the parades continue around the rest of the country too, which is super exciting. I talked to Dalton this morning. The deed of whatever they call it, you know, the proposal, the deal with Luna Rossa, signed, set to go.
And we're going to get dates in the next couple of weeks.
Going to get some dates. It's going to be all on. It's just going to be
and
too
I think our
fantastic.
quest should be to try and get that magnificent cup if they'll let us in studio.
We've had them all on the show. We've had the World Cup, the Melbourne Cup, the Rugby World Cup. We've had all the cups.
Except the America's Cup.
Except the America's Cup.
So Grant Dalton, if you're listening,
there we go.
We will take care of it.